Hey guys, welcome to the channel IF 4.0. This is Ajay.
So today we will be seeing fixed resource processor in detail. So we'll first understand processor. I will drag the object into the model. So this is how the processor looks like. So the processor is an object which is used to process an item on it. So basically it is just like a station which can be used into the model. So the flow items flows from source queue to the processor and then to the sink. So the processor is the object which processes the item. So we will create a small model where a box would be sent to the station, that is processor, for processing, and then it will be disposed of. So what we will do is I will make the A connections between these four items. For source, I will make this inter arrival and interval time. I will make that 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds I will be getting a flow item as box. This is a buffer queue. We have 100 as a maximum capacity. We are not applying any send to put condition, first available basis, and the processor is here. So we will understand first what are the processor properties, just like we have seen for source and queues. So the processor has following properties. So we have maximum content here, we have animate items. We'll see this one by one. So the maximum content is the maximum number of flow items should flow on the processor at a time. So it is maximum amount 1. If we make this as 3, so the 3 processors will be 3 items would be entering the processor, and they will have their individual cycle times applied. So we will check this few in further. Whereas this animate item means we will just run and show. So the processing, we are having setup time and we are having process time. We have applied process time as 10 seconds for this station as of. So, and we have unchecked this animate item. So this box will be not moving on the processor. So you can see the in the to the statistics, we have 30, like this number is growing, 48 in, 52, 58, 60 out, because we are having a process time of 10 seconds on this processor. We can also apply setup time. So now when I check this animate item, you can see that the animation is being played. So you can see the box running over the station for its process time. And when we uncheck this, we can see that the part is not moving. Animation is not taking place, and now animation takes place. When the maximum content is made as 5, you can see 5 parts will be moving in. So you can see this. Not more than 5 parts you can see. If I make this as 2, you will only be able to see 2 parts moving. Once the 2 parts processing is done, then another part is going to enter. So this is about maximum content and animate items. Now the setup time is a timing which is applied to a processor before actual processing on the item starts. So this is a setup time. You can put the timing at here. Say I put a setup time of 5 seconds. So this is nothing but a timing which is done before the processing of the item starts on the processor. So initial timing is the setup time. The name setup itself identifies that there needs to be some setup done before the actual processing of the item starts. So the timing required for it is to be entered here. So we are having lot many options here, just like we had it for source, which we have seen in the previous video. We have these options like periodic, percentage and all. So here also we are having such items: statistical distribution, value by case, time, and no setup time. If you put this as, it would be turned to 0. This is the only extra feature from the source. If item label changes, if the item label is going to change, according to that label we are going to put the cycle times there. So this is one of the additional feature. And from table lookup, from to table lookup. So based on the label type, we are going to look up from the global table. But mostly we use the very normal system, that is we can put direct timing here as 2 seconds as a setup time, and we can go ahead. Similarly for process time also we are having this as this of many options, and for setup time we have these many options. Depending on our requirement we can apply those here. Once we are going to put the setup time, here is another option, it is use operators. This use operators, what we can do is we can enter the number of operators required to perform the setup operation. Similarly we have for processing also we can put the operators. So this operator will then be used for processing the item. So currently we will not use any operators, we will just put the cycle times and we'll just reset and run. So we have animate, we have 2 contents, we have setup time of 2, and then we have process time of 10 seconds. Once that is done, we have output properties here, send to port. We have seen these all for queue already. So you can check the video for queue to understand these properties in detail. Currently we have used it on first available basis. We can also use transport here, and we have also seen this use transport feature, how to use it into the queue video. So we will be just looking for this unique processor library property window. So we have completed this property window. We'll now just try using the operators. So the processor library window will be completely done. Then we have triggers here. In the triggers, depending on the requirement, we can use that trigger and we can apply any code which needs to be triggered on setup finish, or depending on the condition we are going to apply it. So this is the trigger part. Ports, input ports, output ports, and the center ports. You can check it out into the port tab, and this is the input tab. And this is the system console. So any errors coming into the model, that is coding errors, will be displayed into the system console. So in the processor, we are going to use the operators now. So we have ticked use operator for setup as of. So we will drag the operator here. We'll center connect this operator to the processor. Once we have done the center connection, we are going to use the operator for setup, not for processing. So you can see that this operator is only used for setuping. This is once I uncheck this, so you can see the operator is not used for anything, that is setup. Now I'm going to use it for processing. I will reset it and I'll run it. So the operator would be used for processing. You can see this is idle utilizing. So whenever a part is in processing state, the operator also goes under utilize state. So we are using the operator for processing the item on the processor. We can apply here all these features depending on our requirement. Pick operator with animation, different operator for setup and processing, multiple teams, task sequence examples, and so on. And once I uncheck this, the operator is not going to be used for anything else. So this is all about processors in detail. So a processor will make out a summary out of it. So what is a processor? A processor is a object which is a fixed resource which can be used to process an item, that is flow item, for by applying a setup time or applying a process time or both. We can use maximum content of one, or we can use many parts to be processed. but for every part we will have separate setup and processing time applied. It would not be like two parts are to be entered, then we are going to apply 5 minutes for one part and 5 minutes for another part for the process time. It would be like 10 parts individual to the first part and 10 seconds individual to the second part. So this way how is the processor works. So this is all about processor. We'll see sync and another fixed resources in detail in next upcoming videos. Thank you.